President Bola Ahmed Tinubu of Nigeria has ordered investigative panel being set up to investigate all officers of the Nigeria Police Force, NPF, led by the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, over the arrest, detention, apparently ill-treatment and arraignment of minors for treason for protesting against hunger and bad governance in the country in the month of August 2024. President Tinubu, who ordered immediate and unconditional release of all the minors from the police detention irrespective of the allegations made against them by IGP Kayode Egbetokun led Nigerian Police Force, in a statement made available by the Minister of Information and Orientation, Mohammed Idris, on Monday, said any law enforcement officer found wanting in the handling, arrest and arraignment of the underage children will be made to face disciplinary action. It would be recalled that some of the children, when arraigned before a federal high court in Abuja on Friday, fainted, forcing the judge to discontinue the trial and adjourn the case to January 2025. Some of the children were looking so malnourished to an extent some of their bones were very visible, like living skeletons, after spending more than 3 months in police detention. The gory state of the children, who were accused of flying Russian flags among others to demonstrate and express their displeasure against the government over hunger in the country and the current life-threatening and deadly economic situation in the West African nation, caused national and global outrage and condemnation, which many described their arrest, detention and arraignment as reckless, irresponsible and callous insensitivity of the government to its constitutional obligations to the people, especially minors. The Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, announced the unconditional release of the children to State House correspondents during an emergency briefing at the Aso Rock Villa, Abuja, on Monday. The Information Minister, Idris, said, the President has ordered the immediate release of all the minors who have been arrested by the Nigeria Police without prejudice to whatever legal processes they are undergoing. He has directed that they be released immediately. Secondly, the President has also directed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to immediately attend to the welfare of these minors, and to ensure their smooth reunion with their parents or guardians wherever they are in the country. Thirdly, the President has directed that an administrative committee will be set up immediately, to be headed by the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, to examine all issues surrounding the arrest, detention, treatment, and finally, the release of these young minors. Fourthly, the President has also directed that all law enforcement agents involved in the arrest and the legal processes will be investigated, and if any infractions are found to have been committed by any official of government, whether from a law enforcement agency or another appropriate authority, disciplinary action will be taken against him or her. According to Sahara reporters, majority of the underage children arraigned before the Abuja Federal High Court on Friday, November 1st, were now ill after Nigerian Correctional Service officials rejected them at Kuje Prison. Sahara reporters had learned that following their rejection at Kuje Prison, the malnourished minors were detained by the Nigeria Police Force, NPF, in a facility meant for adults at the Intelligence Response Team unit in the Apo area of the Federal Capital Territory. The kids, who were granted bail on stringent terms by Justice Obiora Egwuatu, are 24 in number, but about 20 of them have been hospitalized at an undisclosed hospital, according to sources. The detention of the teenagers was ordered by Justice Emeka Nwite, who granted an ex-parte application by the police to keep them in custody for 60 days to conclude their investigation against the protesters, who have been accused of attempting to overthrow President Tinubu. Sahara reporters learned that 13 of them were brought to court from IAT cells, while others were brought from cells scattered around other Abuja divisions, according to report by Sahara reporters.
Deep inquiries and commentaries about the fate or the situation regarding the minors that you saw towards the end of last week, the ones that have been arrested by the Nigerian police and that were undergoing some legal processes. You also saw what happened in the courtroom. And as a result of that, Mr. President, because of his very deep commitment to democracy and the rule of law, and without prejudice also to whatever legal processes there are, on the other hand, the human side, the human part of it, has directed that some announcements be made. I recall that I had a short briefing with Mr. President early this evening, and he has directed the immediate release of all the minors that have been arrested by the Nigerian police without prejudice to whatever legal processes there are. All minors, the President has directed that all of them be released immediately. Second, the President has also directed the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Reduction to immediately see to the welfare of those minors and also take part to ensure their smooth reunion with their parents or guardians wherever they are in the country. Number three, the President has directed that a committee will be set up immediately to be headed by the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs. It's actually an administrative committee to look at all issues surrounding the arrest, detention, the treatment, and finally the release of these young minors. Fourthly, the President has also directed that all the law enforcement agents involved in the arrest and the legal processes will be investigated, and if there are any infractions found to have been committed by any official of government, be him a law enforcement agency or whoever that person may be, appropriate disciplinary action will be taken against him or her.
Ahmed, bringing you the news in a more digital way.